Do you know one of the most uncomfortable moments you can experience? You're standing in front of someone, the conversation dies, and suddenly, silence. But not just any silence. A heavy silence, an awkward one, the kind that feels like it lasts forever. Your mind starts to panic. Say something. Anything. Quick. And right at that moment, you can't think of a single thing. Now let me ask you something. What if I told you that moment doesn't mean you're bad at conversations? What if the problem isn't your personality, but the fact that no one ever taught you how conversations actually work? Because here's the truth. People who never run out of things to say are not more intelligent. They're not more interesting. They just have a system, an invisible system, that allows them to turn any situation into a flowing conversation. And today, you're going to learn that system. But be careful, because once you understand it, you'll never see conversations the same way again. And most importantly, you'll never run out of things to say. Now, before I show you how it works, you need to stop doing something you probably do all the time, trying to think of what to say. That's the mistake, because the more you try to think, the more pressure you feel, and the more pressure, the more you freeze. Conversations don't work like that. They're not a test. You don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to impress. You just need to understand the flow, and that's where the first pillar comes in. Observation plus open-ended questions. Most people start conversations with empty phrases. How are you? What's up? And that kills the conversation before it even starts, because the answer is always the same. Good, fine, and that's it. Instead, from now on, you're going to do something different. You're going to observe. Yes, actually observe. Your environment is full of opportunities, but most people never see them. A detail, an object, a choice. Everything can become a conversation. Imagine this. You're in an office, and you notice someone wearing new sneakers. Instead of saying something generic, you say, "Hey, those sneakers look amazing. Are they as comfortable as they look?" And suddenly, everything changes. The other person isn't answering out of politeness. They're engaged, because you're talking about something real, something personal. Another example, you're at a party. Someone is standing in front of the food, hesitating. You can say, "I saw you making a very important decision there." Which one won in the end? It's light, it's natural, and it opens a door. The key here is genuine curiosity. You're not performing, you're not pretending, you're simply paying attention, and that is rare. Now, let's say you started. Well, but then the usual fear shows up. What do I say next? This is where the second pillar comes in. Thread plus thread, or as I like to call it, follow the rabbit. Because everything someone says is not the end of a conversation. It's the beginning of many. Imagine you ask, "What do you do?" And the person replies, "I'm an architect, but lately I've been working in sustainable design, which I love." Although with small kids, everything gets a bit chaotic. That's not just an answer, that's a map. Inside that sentence, there are multiple paths. Architecture, sustainable design, passion, kids, chaos. A bad conversationalist says, "Oh, interesting. Cha. Good one, picks a thread. For example, that sustainable design sounds fascinating. What's the most innovative thing you've seen lately?" Or, small kids. That's a full-time project. How old are they? Do you see it? You don't need to invent anything. The conversation is already there. You just need to choose, and this changes everything, because the pressure disappears. You don't have to be creative, you just have to listen, really listen. And when you do, you never run out of things to say, because there's always another thread. And now we get to the third pillar, the one that turns a normal conversation into something unforgettable. Depth and controlled vulnerability. Because starting and maintaining a conversation is easy, but creating connection is something else. Surface-level conversations are forgotten. The ones you remember made you feel something. This is where the game changes, from shallow questions to questions that explore emotion. Instead of asking, "Where did you study?" you ask, "What made you choose that path?" Instead of, "How long have you been doing that?" you ask, "How did you feel when you first started?" Now, the conversation transforms. You're no longer exchanging information, you're sharing experiences. But there's one more thing, something most people never do: vulnerability. Because if you want someone to open up, you have to open first, not by telling your whole life story, but by taking a small step, a real detail. For example, if someone asks you, "What do you do?" you can say, "I work in marketing," and that's it. Or you can say, "I work in marketing, although I actually ended up there by accident after leaving law school, and I realized I really love the creative side." Now there's a story, there's emotion, there's humanity, and that completely changes the dynamic, because you give the other person permission to do the same. And in that moment, the conversation stops being surface level. It becomes connection. Now let's summarize. 3 pillars. 1. Observation, plus open-ended questions. Look, notice, ask. 2. Thread, plus thread. Listen, identify, follow. 3. Depth and controlled vulnerability. Explore emotion. Share a piece of yourself. And remember this. This is not manipulation. This is genuine interest. It's making the other person feel seen, heard, interesting, and that is incredibly powerful. Now it's your turn. Don't try to do everything perfectly. Just pick one, and practice it this week. Maybe you'll focus on observing more, or maybe you'll train yourself to spot threads, but do it, because the only way to master this is to use it. And before you go, think about this. How many opportunities have you missed just because you didn't know what to say? One conversation can change your life. Just one. So the next time silence shows up, don't panic. Smile, observe, and begin. Because now, you know how. And once you practice, you'll realize something. Conversations were never hard. You just needed to see them differently.